Oklahoma's best country, K-Law 101, Jerry Anderson on the phone. I'm excited about this because we've talked about the movie, The Last Man Club, and now I've got on the phone with me the writer and director of the movie, BoBrinkman. Good morning, Bo.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm holding up quite well in the Houston heat.
Well, you're getting to rest now. I mean, after the year or so that it's taken to complete this movie, we had Linda Pandolf in the studio with us just a day or so ago, and I have to tell you, I'm so excited about this movie because it just really touches on so many things around Southwest Oklahoma, for sure, with the military theme and with the older theme, our older population and taking care of parents. I was asking her, and she said, "Oh, just wait and ask Bo." How did you come up with the idea for this movie?
Oddly enough, I was in New York City in a cab, and we were at a red light, and 4 World War II veterans. I looked over, and there were 4 World War II veterans in a 1965 Dodge Dart with a plastic flag stuck in the dashboard of the car and a little 10-cent flag, and they were in their World War II uniform.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at them, and I literally got tears in my eyes. And I said, I've got to write about those guys, you know. And the very next morning in the New York Times was an article about this man who was part of a last man club from World War I, and because this was a long time ago. And he was in a wheelchair, and he received the bottle, and he was laughing. He says, "Well, I'm too old to drink it," you know. And so that gave me the idea for it to be called The Last Man Club. And
and that's a real thing, right? The Last Man Club it's a real thing.
Yes, it is. Historically, it was from the Napoleonic times. That's when it began. And it's the survivors of a major battle or a war, whether it's a platoon or whatever. They after the war, they buy a nice bottle of wine, and they pass that bottle of wine from one surviving member to the next. And the last one left alive opens the bottle and drinks to his fallen comrades. And that tradition's been carried on Vietnam up to now, as far as I know. I mean, I knew a guy that was part of a last man club in Korea who was a fighter pilot.
Wow.
So that's what gave me the idea for the film. And then, you know, I chose World War II because it was the romantic war, and my father was in World War II, and and then the B-17 part of it it's the most beautiful airplane ever built, and so that's where I started with the story. So, you know, a crew member anywhere from 9 to 13 on a B-17, I thought that was doable. For the specific time where we're at today, to make it believable, if that makes sense.
It does. Linda mentioned some challenges. Now, this was not the first time you started to make this picture. No, and as a matter of fact, you know, we have so many people that have signed onto this movie and died that, I remember somebody saying, you know, this movie's jinxed and I don't think you'll ever make it. It started off with Charlton Heston, and we had just Charles Durning was in it. We started filming it in 2002, and we lost our funding after 2 weeks of shooting, so we had to start over again. And you know, 12 years later, I finally got it together. And then a month into pre-production, I found out I had eye cancer. So we literally shot in Arizona, and I came back the following week and had surgery. Wow.
And we took a month off before we could get started again. So it's like by sheer will of me and Linda, we pushed this thing through. I mean, it was like white knuckling all the way. And, you know, by sheer will, we made it happen. Well, I couldn't have done it without Linda. There's no way. I mean,
it's definitely a story that needs to be told. I've seen bits and pieces of the movie, and I'm so excited to see it.
when it hits the big screen. That, I've got my fingers crossed for you guys, just like you guys do. This is an amazing story, and I cannot wait to see the whole thing.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very happy with it. It deals with so many different issues. Our greatest generation is they're dying out 1,000 worldwide, like 1,000 a day, I believe. The last thing I heard, it's like they're in their 80s and 90s. Families are having to deal with these veterans, whether it's Alzheimer's or just old age. And in our fast-paced society, it's very difficult to take care of our parents, for families to take care of the aging greatest generation.
Yes.
So that element is also in the film. And also, and this is something that I dealt with my own father. He went through 7 major battles in the South Pacific, and he was a man's man. And when he was dying, I mean, he was so weak, and he'd lost 100 pounds. His dignity was taken away from him. He didn't want to be. He didn't want me helping him out of his wheelchair. Because he's still a man, and this story is about that. It's these men that feel like their manhood has faded away from them, and they feel discarded by society and by family. And so through this story, through their journey, they become men again. And that's why it's a very life-affirming story.
I love the fact that the lifelong friendships that you make in the military. I was telling Linda about this when I spoke with her. My son was in the Army, and he made some really, really good friends at basic training and his first duty station that will be friends for the rest of his life. And I think that's kind of the same. It's a bond that you have when you serve together in the military that the story kind of focuses on too.
Yes. Yeah, the brotherhood of men in a war situation. No one, that's an experience that no one in your life you will go through with. So there's a bond there that's why they call it brothers in arms.
Yes.
Because they're brothers for life. So there's so many different elements in this story, and then there's the Romy element as well. And, there's a young, pretty girl that meets up with our lead character, Eagle, and she's on the lam, and she's been in and out of horrible relationships, and through their journey and observing these old guys who are now finding their manhood again, she understands what a real man is for the first time in her life.
She knows what she wants then. I love that.
And knows the values that these men have. She has a cathartic experience as well. So that, it's a whole bag of emotions with this story, a whole bag. It's our greatest generation at the end of their lives. It's finding your manhood again. It's rejoining with your brothers in arms and knowing what true commitment is. And it's a female who, after all this time, observes and knows what a real man is for the first time, for her life to move forward. And and it's got a fresh dollops of humor all through it. So we're real happy with the project, and we have a lot of hope for it.
Did you always have a love of history, Bo?
Yeah, always. Yeah, I did 2 Civil War movies as an actor, Gods and Generals and Gettysburg, and doing the research for that. You can learn so much about society in the present by knowing your history.
Huh. There's nothing ever new, isn't it? That just kind of recycles.
It recycles. So, yeah, I love history. I always have.
and I love historical films, even if it's a hint in there, of history, because, Last Man Club is not historical in a sense, but it comes from that. It comes from some solid history.
Well, it shares so much history. I mean, because you're going to see the planes, you're going to see kind of, what these people dealt with. I love it. It's an awesome premise for a movie, and I can't wait to see the whole thing. I was asking Linda, okay, so what's next now? We've got the film in the can. Now we've had a screening in Houston, and now we're on to Los Angeles, right?
We're on to L.A., and we're going to have a cast and crew screening for the actors in there, and some distributors, and we're going to go through which is so much fun to do, the film festival route, which is a blast. And well, in film festivals, you get reviews, and you just can really build some momentum through the film festivals. So that's our plan, and we want to make more movies.
Absolutely. I love the fact that your executive producer comes from right here in Lawton, Oklahoma. That makes this film way personal to me.
Yeah, right? Our executive producer, I'll tell you what, she did a fantastic job on this film, and not just the business side either. She's very creative and someone I trust as a creative on the film. Actually, it's our film. It's me and Linda's movie, because Linda said Linda watches more movies than I do, and she knows the nuances of performances and stuff. And, she would give me notes that would blow me away. And I never disagreed with her one time on any note she ever gave me. In the editing room, and when we looked at dailies, when, she's just, it's innate with her, and I trust her creatively, as well as, of course, business. So it's a good marriage.
Absolutely.
And, we're, looking forward to doing other projects.
Awesome. It sounds great. Bo, thank you so much for taking time to be with us this morning. This sounds like an amazing project. Cannot wait to see it. Cannot wait to see it on the big screen here in Lawton, Oklahoma. Can we have a debut here in Lawton, Oklahoma when it hits the big screen? Can we? Please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course.
Bo says so it must be happening. I love it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.